Namaste, this is Srilata Shankar. In our Leadership Talk series, in collaboration with mystartuptv, we today have Veena Yeleswarapu with us. She is into product management, project management and many more things. Let us understand her journey. Welcome to our series, Veena. We are pleased to have you with us as a guest today.
Thank you, Srilata, for having me here.
What you did in your graduation and what took you to the journey that you are now.
I did my graduation from Bharati Vidya Bhavans. I did my BSc Electronics and it was in 1994 when I started my BSc Electronics, and that time my idea was to join ECIL. All my uncles and my aunts were all in ECIL, which is close to my place where I stay. So that was the reason I took electronics as my elective. But then after a few years I realized, okay, this is not my cup of tea, and I want to do something which is in boom right in the industry. So then I took help of my friends and also my dad, who was also educated during that time of his journey. He did his MA as well, and he suggested that I should go for master in computer applications. So I finished my electronics with lot of pain, I would say, but I took up MCA and obviously into IT industry. And
where did you finish your MCA?
I did it in I completed by Y2K 2000 as a MCA graduate, postgraduate.
Where did you do your MCA from?
I did my MCA from Osmania University, but the rank which I got was kind of, at that time we didn't have many colleges. So there were hardly like 15 or 20 colleges. I got my seat in Nizamabad. I did my MCA from Nizamabad, but it was affiliated to Osmania University as well. Sure. So I completed it in the year 2000.
Okay.
And then
so after your MCA, where did you start working and how did you continue your work?
So that was like the time where we didn't have much of web and networking as such. We used to have the hard copies of our resumes. We used to drop it in every industry that we used to come across. So there were there were only a few big names that we could hear, Satyam, TCS, and not many. So I think it was my third attempt in the companies, that there were no fresher recruitments, there were no off-campus or campus recruitments as such. So it was like a manual work we used to do. We used to print our resumes, drop them in the drop boxes of these IT companies, and luckily among all my friends, I was one of the first persons to be called for an interview in Metamore.
Okay.
So that was the company which took me in as a fresher. I joined as a junior software engineer.
Okay.
But then unfortunately that was the Y2K time, where all the systems were going down, mainframes were all down and whatnot. There was a lot of boom that IT industry is going to come down, and everybody will be on the roads and things like that. But I never took that seriously. I said, okay, everything happens for a reason. There will be ups and downs in various industries that you talk about. It's not only IT, right?
So as a software engineer, which domain or vertical were you working on?
So I started as a mainframe developer. I started as a junior software engineer. I used to do code. I used to prepare designs and all that. So I am core techie person, I would say. My background is technical. So then I moved over to Java also for some time. Then a lot of designing, support, maintenance, and production support, all these things.
So you must have used COBOL and C++.
Oh yeah. Right. COBOL was my first programming language. I really enjoyed it. People say that it's boring and all that, but I had fun. So I mean, it doesn't matter what language you really work on, right? I mean, there's every learning in every aspect of the work that you do. That was my mantra from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I continue with that.
Yeah, and I did my NIT course, and that's how I know COBOL and DBase and all that, which is obsolete now, but except for COBOL, everything else is obsolete. So from a software engineer, what was your journey as from mainframe to Java, and how did you transition as a project manager?
Okay, so initially Metamore actually took a lot of metamorphosis, I would say. We had a lot of transitions happening, different companies took over. It was called Keen. By the time I came out of that company, it was Keen India Limited. I grew up in Metamor as a software engineer. Then I moved over to senior software engineer role, where I took some responsibilities for the team. I used to groom a few set of people who were junior software engineers. So I came out as a senior software engineer from Keen India Limited. Then I'm in Accenture. Actually, there was a lot of growth curve. That's where I moved. That was my second company. So from senior software engineer to project management. So it was a long journey, lot of learnings, lot of challenges on the way, but it was all, you know, a very good learning curve, I would say. Lot of learnings, I would say. I mean, project management training as well. We had a great manager. I don't want to take their names.
Sure.
But there was a lot of very good grooming, and the coaching that I received in Accenture is impeccable. That is kind of a, you know, always I cherish the moments that I spent in Accenture, where I grew from senior software to project management. I did my PMP certification as well in Accenture. They sponsored my certification. So that really helped me move into a management role, where there were a good number of reportees at some point of time in Accenture. When I was coming out, due to my health reasons, I had to leave the company, but there were about 100 plus people reporting to me.
Sure.
One full organization, I would say. I mean, it was called a business unit.
Subunit, yeah.
Yeah. So that business unit was built from scratch along with me and my manager.
Sure.
So I take pride in that.
Most of our audience is management students or engineering students and the young professionals who have just, you know, started their career. And when I say young professionals, it could be 0 to 8 years experience. For these people, what is the transition, or how does one get into a different role similar to you, who started with mainframes, then moved to Java, and then moved to project management? How does one seamlessly get into it? Or what are the steps that he or she should take to get into project management?
Transition is just an attitude, I would say. I mean, if you have the right attitude of doing something, you have the passion, you can move into any career, I would say, irrespective of the industry. It's just that you should be passionate about it, and maybe you do some initial groundwork of learning,
yes.
right? You train yourself, or you join a course outside. That will really help you groom your skills. And then you can definitely, you know, if I am now doing project management, nobody can say that I can move over to some product management, or I can do coding. I cannot do coding. I mean, it's nothing like that. It's all in your attitude and everything. I mean, I would give that advice to even the students who are budding, you know, programmers or getting into management areas. I think it's nothing like you can't do anything. You can do everything. It's just that you'd have the right skill, just build it over time. It doesn't come in a day or two, right? I mean, it's over time. You keep learning and learning, network, have conversations with your peer groups, and understand what is the prime area that you need to focus on, and also your interest, right? What is your interest? You can groom yourself in that.
I'm glad you said that, Veena, because people, you know, tend to get aspired by somebody who's, you know, senior or wanting to get into their kind of a role, but not put in enough efforts. I had typical number of examples such as yours, who the youngsters, you would come to an HR person and say that, ma'am, she's into SAP and she's traveling, or he's traveling abroad and she's earning so much of money, so I want to get into SAP. So which is a wrong want or desire to move into that, because unless you are wanting to get into that role, wanting to get into that domain or vertical or any other role, doesn't make sense, because money and role should not chase you.
Correct.
Your desire, wish, want should chase you. Very rightly said. What is PMP certification? How does one get into, how does one do a PMP certification? What is the course? What is the role after?
Project management, the basic requirements nowadays that companies ask is the project management certification, that is PMP. It is offered by PMI, Project Management Institute, USA. They have like a PMBOK, that is a book of knowledge. They have laid down certain guidelines for a project management to happen, right? It's irrespective of industry. Even if you take a construction industry, there's a process, right? You build the basement, then you go for the walls,
floor,
and then
second floor.
the ceiling and all that. So something like that. Project management is irrespective of the industry. Once you do that, you can apply that knowledge in any kind of industry. So it's financial management, it is staff management, right, resource management, then you have the schedule management, cost management, right, then you have reporting, how you manage the stakeholders, how you manage a project end to end, like the maintenance and things like that. So it has laid guidelines of how a project should run from right from inception to the implementation. So there are various steps involved. So it is kind of a book of knowledge, which is, you can mug it up actually. If you have to give that exam, it's just mugging up and applying that knowledge in the industry that you work on. And then nowadays it's unfortunate that people are looking for that certification. It's not always that. It comes with a lot of experience as well. So having this certification is definitely a plus, but then there is an experience that is way more than the certification itself. So once you have that knowledge of how a project should be run, how do you set up a team, how do you staff the team, how do you interview, what is people management, how do you deal with people, how do you handle situations, right, where people get into conflicts, what is conflict management, what is risk management, all these aspects in a nutshell is called project management. So that is what this certification is about, and it takes about 3 or 4 months of preparation. At least for me it took that. I mean, you have to look into various aspects, because I had a little background of managing a project as well, and a team. You will get to know these with experience. So with definitely little amount of knowledge of how to run a project plus studying, you can clear this exam. It's not easy. It's an online exam. You have to go to a Prometric center, give that exam, and then it's very tough, I would say. I mean, even if you have an experience with project management, you will have to, there are situational questions which are difficult to interpret as well. So you have to really focus for those 3 or 4 months, and then I think you can definitely clear it. It's not a rocket science, I would say.
Sure. So how does one apply to this PMP course?
So I think once you go through the books that are preferred, there's Rita Mulkey, there's a PMBOK book which is written by her. There are mock exams that you can give. You can apply it in PMI, Project Management Institute USA, on the website, and there's some fee that you have to pay, and you can
I think it's about 35 or 40,000.
Yeah, initially, and then you renew it every 3-4 years.
Sure.
So with the current knowledge that you have built in, if there's a team management that you have done, you add some PDUs, professional development units. You keep adding them year on year, and every 3 years you got to renew those PDUs.
Sure. So what one always believes or one understands is project management is specifically only for the IT people. So I'm glad you said that it can be used across industries, across verticals, across domains, etc. Even an HR person or finance person can use project management, and he or she can do the course as well. So you also mentioned it is people management, it is dealing with people management, how one organizes the entire fulcrum of HR. How does one do that as an HR person? Let's say I am wanting to do an PMP course, I am the HR leader. How does it benefit HR department or a finance department?
Definitely. So you can take the particular assignment that is given to you as a project itself. How do you start that? Suppose you are a HR person, you are given a task of recruiting some n number of people by 3 months or 4 months. You got to get profiles, you got to interview people, you have to see the fitment, then you touch base with the technical, you have to schedule those interviews. So all these steps are actually, I would say, it's part of project management. What is the first step? You lay out a plan. What is my first step? So in that step also I'll have sub steps. How will I have to liaise with some external consultants, or will I get the resumes? How will I get those resumes? So those things are like project management. You define the dates. Unless and until you define dates and work upon, like, so I have 3 months, you have to work backwards. By the end of, suppose this is June, right? By end of August I need people. So you work backwards. August 30th I need my people here. So what should I do? Just work backwards and get things down. It's a project for you,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Even if it's a HR or finance team, for example. So finance team is probably introducing some
Budgeting
new
or-
tax component into all the salaries that are being credited to employees. So how do they do that? It's not a simple task, right? How do they introduce that? Where should they introduce that? Whether it's basic or flexi or things like that. So that itself is a project. So by which month they
Which
are
month,
supposed
right.
to
Right, it
credit.
can't be
So
March
they-
because,
yeah. So that's how they'll have a project by itself. I mean, every industry, you name it, construction, PMBOK itself says that, you know, the book which I'm talking about, which is referred to for all the PMP certifications, that itself says that there's no industry that you cannot apply the project management.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a mammoth project, it can be a tiny project as
Tiny
well.
project, yeah.
Right. What is the difference between project management, program management and product management?
So project management is a subset of program management. A program is like a group of projects. Like suppose I have a huge project under which there are multiple projects A, B, C which have to be executed in parallel, different dates, different go live dates, different start dates. But then I actually am sitting on top of, suppose the management is here and then they are having multiple project managers under them. They will assign the projects to them, but at the program level they'll have to monitor that all these projects are running smoothly and they are delivered as per the timelines. For them it's a program because it comes, suppose it's a health or pharma industry under which they are operating different projects.
Sure.
And they are launching a product for a particular
Division.
maybe division, and that division comes under their purview.
Right.
So that means that is a program for them. So I have to launch this product for X, A, B, C companies, and then I have to introduce this into the programs that are running for them.
Okay.
So that is a program. So program is a it's like a group of projects which are
Got
being
it.
executed at various levels. That
Sure.
is program. Product, as you understand, I mean, it's like a tool or a product. I mean, how should I say that? It's a software. As suppose the product, how can I give you an example?
Product that is being manufactured has to be sold out?
Yeah, you can take that as an example when it comes to the product industry, but when it comes to project management in the IT side, I would say there is some kind of an application which is being developed by a company. Suppose I am a company, I am trying to provide some kind of a package to a pharma industry or any industry for that matter. I am developing a full solution for them. So
Sure.
that is a product.
Sure.
I give that product to the company which I want to liaise with, and then I will give them this product saying that this will serve the purpose of so and so with your organization. Sometimes there might be some edits to that, right?
Sure.
It might not work as I have developed for my company. So X company might use it as is, but Y company might say, okay, it doesn't work for me as is. I need a lot of edits to this. Okay, it has to suit the compliance related things in my company. So you have to tweak that product accordingly so that the second company
it's
can use.
Correlation with marketing, compliance,
Exactly,
solutions.
lot
etc.
of things actually. So product as a solution is nowadays buzzword, I would say. So product as a solution, SaaS products, you might
Right.
have heard, software
Right.
as solution.
Yeah.
So right, product as a solution, platform as a solution, all these are like products
Right.
which are owned by a company.
Sure.
And then they customize that according to the needs of the organizations that they are serving.
Sure.
And then that is the product management. So I manage this product from my
Right.
perspective.
So till now,
Yeah.
I understood product as selling a particular product.
Package, anything,
It
yeah.
could be a talcum powder. It could be for an IT company. It could be some package.
Yes.
But now what you have told us is it can be solutions for that you're
Exactly,
delivering for the
exactly.
outside market. For a student who's got into Java or .NET, for a student who's joined company and moved into Microsoft technologies, Java, .NET, how does one become a project management or product management? What is the career?
So I think it depends on their choice. Nowadays companies are offering different kinds of choices. They can choose their path. Either they can go technically, they can build their knowledge technically, they can be technical experts. they can do architect, solution architect and all that, right? You can go to up to that level. Some people are passionate about people, you know, people management, dealing with people, having people around makes them happy. So somebody like
team
me,
management,
right? I love to be with people, I love to interact with new people, learn from them, you know, it's mutual.
Right.
Project manager is not somebody who's, you know, dictating terms to the team. I don't believe in that. You know, there's a lot of learning back and forth. The team thinks that okay, they are my boss and all. I don't believe in that concept at all. Like you know, you have more experience than them. That is the only difference that your team and you have. So some people are passionate about that. Then they can go into project management where it deals with, you know, people aspect is a major core of project management. If you don't treat your team properly, you're not a good project manager at all. I mean, you can't deliver what you promise unless you have a good team in place, and team rapport can be built with a good project management skills. How you deal with conflicts, how are the risks handled. If a team member comes to me and says that okay, I'm having this situation right now, how do I deal? Whether it's technical, you diagnose that situation, right? It's technical, non-technical, or it's with people themselves, they are having conflicts. How do you resolve that? You know, sit with them, have, you know, remand kind of a thing where you understand what the situation, how that situation occurred and things like that.
So my question is, you as a project manager, are you dealing with teams who are working on different Microsoft technologies or verticals? Like for example, one person is working in SAP, one was working in Java, .NET. Do you manage this entire team or how's it?
So it's a mix of people. It's a matrix organization that I currently I'm working on. I mean, in Accenture it was a different situation where we belong to that hierarchical model, where people, they were different technologies there also, here also, but this is a matrix where they don't report into me, but we come together as a team when we execute a project in my current organization. Whereas in Accenture it was like my team who were distributed across various domains, technologies. Again, they were reporting to me there. I mean, the kind of organization, I'm currently working in a GCC, Global Capability Center, which is kind of a captive, right, the previous term of this. Accenture is consulting services where you have that hierarchical model and things like that.
Not in the question of hierarchy, but my more relevant question was various technologies that one is working on. I could be a Java person, my friend can be working in SAP. They all kind of merge into project management.
They can, you know, it's technology aversive, I would say. I mean, there's no particular technology that will lead you to project management. Whatever technology you're working on, if you are like passionate about leading a team, you know, being a project manager, you can go from any technology and come to this area. Right?
So even a person with ERP background can get into project management. Right.
Yes.
So Veena, today's youngsters, whether it's college students or young professionals, they have a lot of exposure compared to you and me. You know, if you remember, I am sure you're smiling already. We had to go to an internet center, wait there for 20 minutes to get a half an hour slot, and we did whatever we could then. Today everybody has a laptop at home, maybe probably 2-3 laptops at home, and everything is on a click of a button. Today's youngsters are very smart, very passionate. I wouldn't say very passionate, but to an extent passionate. But they also are very restless. They want to keep jumping jobs. I as an HR person, I keep telling them this stability is the most important thing. So what are the 3 important things that you would tell the youngsters and students today for their career?
I would say be abreast with the current technologies. I think you have to keep honing your skills. It's not that you stop at one and say that I'm done, right? Every industry is like that. I mean, you can't stop at something you learn and then you say, okay, I'm done. This is going to take care of me for my life.
In fact, learning doesn't stop even at our stage.
Yes, of course. I think you have to keep upgrading your skills, upskilling, right? Every moment.
Upskilling and reskilling.
Right. Too much. I think that's change that you have to accept in today's industry. I mean, today you talk about one technology, tomorrow it's gone, and day after tomorrow there will be new technology coming.
Even 5 months back, we didn't even know what was ChatGPT.
I know. Today people are using, even first grade child is going and typing his project in ChatGPT, and you have everything coming up, right? So today AI is taking over, cloud technologies are taking over, right?
Machine
you
learning.
have to machine learning, whatnot. You keep upskilling and reskilling. That is one first and foremost thing that I would say. The second thing is, once you learn a particular technology, build upon that at least for few years, right? You can't be saying that, okay, I'm done, this is 1 year, this is gone, and things like that. At least build so that you have that groundwork, like base developed, at least So languages are no different, I would say. I mean, even the latest technologies have some language going on in the background, right? Once you learn a language and its basics, those basics will help you learn the other languages as well. Otherwise, if your ground level itself is weak, that means as you go, even if you be a jumping jack, looking for other jobs, this groundwork, if it's not strong, you will not be strong in anything. Build that, I think. Be with a particular organization, learn all the groups, like what they are doing, be curious, right? What other groups are doing, go keep learning, keep inquiring. Network also is the third thing that I would suggest. Network. Some people are very, introverts, and they say, okay, I'll do my work, day job, and then leave. It will not really help you in nowadays. Networking is a first and foremost thing where you should know what other groups are also doing. It's not just your job, right? Nowadays, you have to know what the organization's goal is. Otherwise, if tomorrow somebody comes and says the organization is changing and this is what we are introducing, and you are not even aware of what is happening, so you will not be considered for a particular role that they might be looking to fill, right? Unless and until you network, you build that group, right? LinkedIn is a place I would suggest where you go network with people from different industries, your friends, your peer group, and your college, everything, right? It includes the entire set of people that you deal with.
I will add to what Veena just mentioned is every student who is passing out, whether engineering student or MCA student or a management student, I always insist on telling them that at least minimum of 3 years in each company is a must.
Correct.
If you're jumping within 10 months, 11 months is not going to have any growth for you. You may get 5,000 or 10,000 more in a different company. That may be your second job. Third job, no one will even look at you. And I am, as an HR person, I'm authentically telling you about it. Because if somebody, let's say Veena has come to me with 11 months experience, I will ask her a series of questions, not just in terms of technical, but saying why did she leave, what is the reason, etc., etc. So 3 years minimum, otherwise there's no stability. The reason I say about stability is when companies recruit you, they invest a lot of money on you in terms of recruitment, in terms of infrastructure costs, in terms of training. And if a person is going to leave in 11 months time, why will a company invest that kind of money on you? That's point one. Point two, what she mentioned in terms of learning, continuous learning is a must. There is no two ways about it. So there's no shortcomings to success. You have to do the grounding. You have to go according to the universe of what is in store for you. You have to be patient. You cannot get it done within 3 months, 6 months. It's not a 2-minute noodle. There is a career path. If you want to reach a vice president's role, as a junior executive to the vice president, it will take you minimum of 22 to 25 years. So you'll have to be patient. Third is, like she said, you have to be like a sponge. What does a sponge do? If you put a sponge in a pool of water, it absorbs. So as a student, you have to learn, absorb. Networking, the third point that you mentioned, was not just in terms of LinkedIn and your seniors, but within your organization seniors, your cousins, your friends, your college seniors, network with them, speak to them constantly. And that's how, like, let's say Veena is your friend, Veena's friend can be your friend as well. May not necessarily you have to hang out with her, but these are all networking for your future career and growth in terms of learning. Thanks for the great inputs that you gave, Veena. What are the things that you will say that a student should not do? 3 things student and young professional should not do which will hamper their career.
You know, some people I have seen in my experience, when somebody from college pass out joins the organization, you know, they get bored very easily with the technology that they are on, right? Irrespective, I was in mainframe, which was like considered as, you know, boring
Obsolete,
technology,
yeah.
obsolete, it's going. Why are you even opting for that? It doesn't matter whatever you are put in. Initial part of your career, you have to ensure you build that base, as I said earlier, right? Go learn it. Even if it's old technology, go learn it. I think there's that basic groundwork that you still have to do. You know, every programming language, you know, you define the variables, you define the logic, how you end the program, you introduce various loops and all that. I think it's all common across the board. It's just the language that is different, and how you apply it is different, right? So go learn that. Whatever you are assigned, take it as a challenge, learn it completely, gain experience, you know, use, as company is making you, you know, work for them, you have to also take advantage of the company and use that as a ground for you building your base. I think it's all mutual. When you go join a company, it's a mutual win-win situation, right? Company
Absolutely.
wins from your work, you win from the company's work as well, you build that knowledge. I think without that, I mean, that is one thing that I've seen people, you know, they get bored, they say, okay, I need a different role, or they'll, you know, straight away resign. They will not even spend the initial part of their career, which is like solid 4 or 5 years. You said 3 years, but I would
agree.
say 4
Yes.
or 5 years, be with that organization,
Absolutely.
learn everything that you can, right? There's no job anywhere in the world which doesn't give you learning, I would say. I mean, that was
Absolutely.
my attitude, at least when I joined as a fresher. Learn from every small thing. Even if you are given an Excel data entry, right, there will be lot of macros that you can build. You can make things easy. People who are taking like days together, you can create a macro, right? Learn from it.
Even
There's
small things like VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP,
correct, learn it. There is lot of things that you can learn. Don't say that it's boring, right? Automate and see that you can give that as a challenge to yourself, that okay, let me automate this is going to be manual and boring work, I'll make it interesting.
Absolutely,
Right? So that thing you'll have to develop. Don't say that it's a trivial job, it's not a great job that I'm doing, right? That is second thing. Third thing that I have seen is, you know, they are not learning nowadays. I mean, with the new technologies, I mean, once you have gained enough knowledge in a particular organization, don't settle for that, keep learning, ping the market and see like what are the current trends, right? Ping the market, what are the demand, what are the technologies in demand. Go train yourself, go certify, invest some money. It's okay, you spend that money, you gain, you know, 2-fold, 3-fold in future. So invest in your learning, that is definitely. And I think maybe this is the second one. Third one, also give time for yourself. Mobile is not the only world, gadgets are not the only world. Invest in your, you know, spiritual things, which will definitely bring all the kinds of stress that you are going through.
Well said.
Right? Invest in yourself. Go travel, explore the world. I would say, you know, whatever you earn, 50% you can save, 50% you spend on yourself and your family. I think that is something that people are missing. You know, they are sitting in their own confined rooms,
Cubicles and
cubicles, whatever I would say. I mean, they spend time for,
Silos,
you know,
they work
days together on the internet, but they don't explore what is happening around.
Right,
There are so
right,
many things
right.
that we can explore.
Yeah, she mentioned traveling, but beyond traveling, I would also say that invest in your inner self, understand your inner self. When I say meditation, it doesn't necessarily belong to a particular religion. Meditation, yoga is religion free. Please invest yourself in that. Today, youngsters, as you rightly said, are extremely frustrated, extremely stressed, and people like, not necessarily our generation, please understand that we do not get stressed at all. Why? Because we understand how to manage life. I think that's the next question that I will ask you. people are very frustrated. We youngsters are very stressed out. Small things like, okay, the mother doesn't buy them a smartphone, they want to take their lives, they want to commit suicide. If they don't get the bike according to their liking, they commit suicide, which is bizarre, which you and me were never even thought about it. Even today, we understand, we've gone through so many aspects of life, whether it's health, whether it's family, problems are there, and we know how to circumvent them. So what is the one most important thing, or the most important thing, that you would tell the youngsters in terms of stress?
I think they are like over passionate about whatever they do. I think once they are addicted to a particular thing, they are like, let me explore more, they just go dig deeper into that. I mean, which is kind of a stressful environment. You travel to work, you are on the road, you don't have patience for the traffic to clear, right? You abuse people on the road and do what not, right? Likewise in the office as well. I mean, if somebody is telling you something, you just give them back in different kinds of languages. I mean, these things have to be curbed a lot, which is like a self retrospection, which is lacking, I see. I mean, just see what you want in life, right? Do things that you love. If you have joined a course, suppose you have joined an IT industry, or you have joined a particular industry, it's your choice, right? You have joined with your interest. Why are you not able to focus on that? So just self retrospect, I would say. And definitely, as you brought the point of spirituality, investing in yourself, that is what I don't see in the current generation. If gymming is something that you love, go spend time in gymming. Draw a line for everything that you do. Work, draw a line, say, I'm not going to take up any work after this time. There might be situations where you have to compromise, but that's okay, you compromise on that. But draw a line, give yourself time for gymming, yoga, spirituality, involve yourself in, jogs, right? Whatever enthuses you, right?
Work as well.
Yeah. Do some social service that really help. Do some volunteering service at various organizations. They offer, it gives a lot of self satisfaction that is missing, I see.
When we are talking of spirituality, it doesn't necessarily have to, I don't mean to say that one should spend 7 hours, 8 hours in front of a deity, but that inner calming is required. You can either tell a Hanuman Chalis or a Gayatri mantra, or whichever faith you believe in. That calming is very important, and that will lead you to less stress, which will lead you to more success. It's a mantra. Less stress leads to more success.
Correct.
So do not get stressed, and you must understand, like I told you, it will take, everything has its own time. It took you 10 years to finish your 10th class. You didn't finish it in 1 year. Similarly, to get to a vice president level or a CEO level, it will take you 22 to 25 years. It does not happen overnight. So we've had a wonderful chat till now. What are the things that you like as an individual apart from your work? What are your interests?
Yeah, so I'm into spirituality a lot. I believe in spending time, at least 1 week to 10 days. I detox myself from the current happenings, family, everything. I go alone to, I'm a Isha follower. I follow Isha yoga, and I practice yoga as well every day. I spend a lot of time in my inner well-being as well. As you said, I was also in that situation of stress, right? I mean, I was very frustrated. I was, screaming at everybody. I was yelling at my kids. People never used to like me before when I was around. I was always that cranky kind of a person. They unpredictable. When I would give them back, it was like that kind of a situation. So that's when I came across this Isha yoga that has really helped me in, managing stress. It's not that we can completely avoid it in the current situation. We can't avoid.
Is more important,
so how do you manage that stress is what matters, right? How do you manage? So with yoga, I have been able to manage stress. I had a lot of balance in my, situations, that I look at it as a, a moment of situation. Okay, it has come, it has come. You can't do anything about it. How do you resolve that is what you need to think about. right?
More so, it
Most
is a
of the time.
learning,
Yes.
learning in your life.
Of course, I think-
you won't have success all the time.
Correct.
You will have failures. And what is a failure? Failure is a stepping stone to success.
Exactly. So don't take that as a problem or some kind of a nuisance that is happening in your life, right? It's a learning. It's a situation. Call it as a situation. Deal with it.
Overcome it and go on.
Move on. That's it. I mean, don't sit down and get bogged down about it. Keep thinking, crying. Disturbing the entire people that are around you, right? It doesn't really help. So think about it as a situation. Okay, this has come. It's not a problem. It's a situation. You gain experience out of it. That's what I would say. Learn about it. Like how can you resolve it? Solve it, and then you come out as a great achiever. When you look back after 2 or 3 days, you might look at it as a trivial thing that you really bothered about. So I think yoga, spirituality, whatever God you believe in, spend time. Invest some half an hour to 45 minutes every day before you begin your day, right? Before you begin your daily chores, invest in that, and that gives you a lot of calming and brings balance in your mind, body.
It also helps you deal with teams much better. You are more wiser, more matured, and know how to deal with people.
Yes.
Apart from yoga and spirituality, what else are your interests?
My interests are like traveling. Nowadays I have reduced it because I had some situation last year with my health, so I reduced it, but travel I used to love. I'll start it again. That's
I think we should travel together.
Yeah, of course. And my family, I have 2 boys and 1 pet, so being with them, every weekend we go out, spend time with your family. That's a piece of advice that I would give to the current generation, which doesn't really happen, I see. But
I know the fact and the glory that we are living in India. India is a country which gives a lot of importance to family, unlike the West. I would second what she said. Invest and spend time with family, and that's your fulcrum of your existence. And whatever goes wrong, if at all it goes wrong, they will be there to fall back upon. So invest time with your family. A couple of last questions is, apart from your family and interests that you mentioned, you also do a lot of community work. What do you do, and please explain?
So I am a part-time volunteer with Isha. So we go to villages, we go to they are like in farms most of their time, right? We motivate them to come and invest in their health also. I mean, if we ask the villagers to come and do yoga, they might not appreciate it. So what we have, I have actually partnered with Isha, where there is something called Gramotsavam, which talks about introducing some small games that they play, right? Kabaddi, volleyball, throw ball and things like that, which everybody is interested. I mean, even the people in villages or towns, everybody alike play games. I mean, they would love to do that. So I do a service with Isha as well. So there is also in my organization also there is a CSR activity that we do, corporate social responsibility, where we have something like mentoring. So they are like college fresh, in their final years of BTech or engineering, where we are tied up with one particular person, and they are from little financially background. They're not as strong in their financial situation. So they can't go and reach out to a consultancy.
So you're like a mentor for
I'm
them.
like a mentor. I give them tips around how an industry works, what are the skills they have to build on, what are communication, how do you speak to people, what are the kind of tips for them to come into an industry. So they are little backward in their financial, and also their family background, their parents are not educated. So I have mentored, I have offered myself as a mentor for that particular program, and I'm currently doing that.
All right. Yeah. What are the awards and citations you have received so far in your career, Veena?
I would say many.
I'm sure.
With I have 20 years of experience in the IT industry, so every team that I work with, there is definitely star awards, spot awards. So I have ensured my team is well recognized wherever I work in all the consulting firms. Recently I was awarded a star award in my current organization as well, for my attitude and, you know, jumping into whatever is offered to me, as you know, with the same enthusiasm. Even if it's a trivial work, I go with the same enthusiasm. So that was a spot. Recently, just 2 days back, I received a star award.
Congratulations.
Thank you for that. And many other things, I would say. I think we have also collaborated with the traffic police to build an application for them. You know, the ex-DGP Mahender Reddy, if you are aware.
Yes.
So Mahender Reddy, I collaborated with him, we presented the solution to them, and then they gave the project to us. I mean, I take that pride for developing something for the cause of, you know, development of the society as well. So that was well appreciated by my organization. I also had some, you know, there were various earthquakes and flood situations as well, corporate social responsibility. So there as well, I was recognized as a key person who has driven that from my organization perspective. So every year there is some award. I don't really, you know, crave for that. It's the satisfaction that I get out of doing this. I mean, awards are secondary.
It's kind of a recognition, so
exactly.
You feel good about
it.
We have been speaking to Veena so far, and the points that she has mentioned is skill, constantly skill, upskill yourself, learn, reskill yourself. Never look at small things as a trivial job. Always take it as a challenge. Always learn to adapt yourself. I would always say that learn to adapt and adopt in any situation. When I started my career, I was doing data entry, and today I'm the HOD of a department. And it is okay to even do the smallest of jobs like Veena just mentioned. Do not get stressed. Do not say that, I can do this only, I cannot do this. Don't slot yourself. Be like an open ocean. You can do everything, and that's how you're constantly learning, growing. She also mentioned about spirituality. She's also mentioned how she has imbibed spirituality to calm herself, to achieve what she wants to achieve. And she's today the HOD of a department. She's leading a large number of people, responsible for large teams, and that is the career path that she has led herself to. She has given a lot of inputs to the young students. So take the inputs, take the examples of Veena and imbibe it in your career. Veena, thank you so much for being our guest today. It was wonderful talking to you.
Same here. Thank you, everyone.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to My Startup TV.